Imagine a kid wearing a brand new, perfectly white shirt. They take one wrong step in the yard, and splat, they fall face first into a giant puddle of bright, sticky red mud. Now, instead of asking for a bath, the kid panics. They grab a piece of paper, quickly draw a nice picture of a smiley face, and hand it to their parent, hoping to distract them from the mess. We all know how this ends. The parent might appreciate the drawing, but they cannot ignore the giant red stain. The drawing is nice, but the mud is the actual problem that desperately needs washing. Thousands of years ago, the prophet Isaiah had to explain this exact dynamic to God's people. Isaiah lived and taught in the grand, ancient city of Jerusalem. The people living there had gotten themselves completely covered in a mess of their own making. Instead of cleaning up, they tried handing God a nice religious drawing to distract him. So what exactly was their mud? The people of Isaiah's time were rebelling against God, and the primary way they showed it was by treating each other terribly. They ignored fairness. Their leaders accepted bribes, and they consistently refused to help people who were struggling, like widows and orphans who had nobody else to look out for them. On top of that, they started worshiping idols. They bowed down to statues they carved with their own hands, treating pieces of metal like they were more important than their creator. To cover up all this bad behavior, they leaned hard into religious distractions. They brought massive animal sacrifices to the temple and threw loud, elaborate festivals, hoping God would focus on their religious routines instead of their cruelty. Isaiah's message to them was clear. Showing up to do all the right church stuff does not hide a dirty heart, especially if you go right back out and hurt your neighbors. God's response to all these distractions is blunt. He tells them he is tired of their empty festivals and that their meaningless offerings have become a burden to him. He tells them to stop the fake rituals entirely. His instruction is simple: wash and make yourselves clean by changing how you actually live. He wants them to practice justice. That means treating everyone fairly and leveling the playing field. True justice means stepping in to defend the oppressed, using your power to act as a shield for people being bullied or left behind. Caring for the weak is the exact opposite of human arrogance. Isaiah warns that the people who put their trust in their own pride, standing tall and lofty like massive cedar trees, will eventually be humbled. God demands that our actions towards others match the religious words we say. He looks right past the flashy routines and checks how we actually treat people. After this strict warning, God offers an incredible promise of grace. He tells the people that even though their bad choices are stained deep into their lives like a bright scarlet dye, he is willing to wash them completely clean. He promises to turn that deep red stain as white as snow, completely dissolving the mess they've made if they listen and obey. Isaiah then looks ahead to God's ultimate plan for the future. He describes a time when God's perfect ways will rule the earth, and people from every nation will eagerly learn to walk in his paths. In this future, the whole world finally learns to live in peace. People will take the weapons they used to hurt each other, and they will melt them down, because they will never need to train for war again. They will turn their swords into plows and their spears into gardening tools. Instead of destroying each other, they will use their energy to grow good things together. These promises were given to real people, standing in the real physical city of Jerusalem, where you can still see the ancient stones today. It reminds us that God's long-term plan is a peaceful world where we genuinely care for one another. And when we do make a mess along the way, we have a loving Father who is always ready to wash our hearts clean.